We keep having all these problems. How we gonna solve them? Every day it's the same thing. All these unsolved issues, I guess it's official. Here we go again, the same old thing. And I'm tired of arguing and lying. So goodbye.
Good morning, everybody. It's your girl Miracle Sims, and you're listening to God, Sex, and Love, your daily dose of inspiration, the juice. It is May the 21st, 2024, and today the topic is Hardened Hearts. Yes, y'all, it's Hardened Hearts. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday, everybody. I hope you guys had a wonderful Monday. Mine was just fine. Yes, mine was good overall. My Monday was pretty chill. Yep, y'all know that I went and worked at the church last night because we now have Monday night services. So that was one thing of significance. Outside of that, nothing too much to share. I mean, I've been in this interesting place lately. Just I guess or mental space. Like things are good. Like I mean, it's not like the dark sunken space that I was in like a few months ago. But I guess before I went live, I took a moment to just kind of reflect that for once in my life, I don't know where things are going. You know what I mean? Like I don't have any particular plan or anything like that. And I don't know if that's a good thing or not, because on one hand, it's like, I've been a planner and things like that. Sure, I got things on my to-do list and stuff like that, but yeah, I don't really know what life is going to look like. Like right now it's looking good. I'm thankful and grateful for the gig and things of that nature. I know that once again my one of the gentlemen that's over me at the church or whatever, he was like, oh, you don't have to do every Monday and da 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 da. And my whole thing is like, hey man, I'm available. Seems like, everybody might not have the, I guess, flexibility that I have. And so I don't have no problem with doing Mondays. So, I mean, I've said that numerous times. I don't know how many times I got to say it, but anyway, but outside of, again, knowing what my current work schedule is and stuff like that, everything is up in the air. I was doing a lot of, I guess, like I said, just being online and filling out forms and making calls and different stuff like that. And it's given me a little bit of a sneak peek at what life might look like, maybe. Because again, we are, trying to get NJ in school. But as I told you guys before, we're looking into the virtual school. So I know, I guess life will look like that at some point, getting him up, ready for school, all that type of stuff. So that's going to be something. We know that we have started this whole soccer thing. So, Saturday mornings might be looking like soccer mom time, And then I also was looking into some Christian alternatives for the Boy and Girl Scouts. I know y'all might have heard about some of the stuff that's going on with Boy Scouts in particular, how they took the boy out of Boy Scouts. I don't know how they did that. I don't know what they calling it now. I don't know about any of that, but there are some Christian alternatives. One is called it's called Trail Life, the one that I'm looking into, and there's a troop that's nearby. So I'm like, well, maybe NJ could be in or do that. So that's something else we're looking into. I presented it to the church as well because I noticed that the girl version of it, which I can't remember the name of it, I don't want to get that name wrong. But the girl version of this type of troop, I don't see one nearby. And so that's another thing as well. I'm like, should I start it? Maybe some girls in this area will want to do it. Now I don't know too much. I never was one that got the chance to do like Girl Scouts or nothing like that. I think the closest thing I had to that was like 4-H. And even then I didn't like take no camping overnight situation. So I mean, as somebody that grew up watching what was the name of that show on Nickelodeon? Salute Your Shorts or something like that. I grew up watching those shows or that particular show. And so, yeah, I know a few years ago when I went glamping, I really wanted to go camping or gl- real glamping. We were in a cabin. I wanted to, experience like I guess being in a tent or being, feeling like I'm in camp or whatever, and I wanted it to be Camp Miracle. I might do it one of these old days. I don't know, for my birthday or whatever. Have Camp Miracle and have have us play, man. Adults just play like we're kids. You know what I'm saying? One of these old days, that's got to be one of my birthdays, if the Lord's will. But anyway, man. So I'm thinking about all of that different type of stuff yesterday. Looking into different activities for NJ. Looking into getting different things in place for us and our family and stuff like that. And so, yeah. But even with that stuff, right, being said, I feel like this unknown, right, and it's very interesting. But anywho, that's beside the point. We're supposed to be talking about hardened hearts, right? So, how did I get to this hardened hearts conversation? Well, I listened to the prayer meditation. I woke up like 4 o'clock on the dot this morning. And I don't remember hearing my alarm, so that was one thing. But anyway, so I woke up, exactly on time. I kind of, did my little thing for a little bit, and then I listened to the prayer meditation. After I listened to that, I remember it being kind of good, but I don't know, my mind again was all over the place, just thinking about a lot of different things. And so ultimately I ended up, I think it was something that was said in the prayer meditation, but now I don't remember. But anyway, I started looking up some things. I went to that app that I've been using that's at chatholybible.com. I think that's the name of it, right? Yeah, chatholybible.com. So I went there and was asking the app a few questions. And ultimately, after I asked like a few different type of things, I started thinking about hardened hearts, like thinking about people that have hardened their heart against the Lord and His Word. And so, as I was taking time to think about, individuals I know, and things like that, um, yeah, I decided to go deeper about it. Went in, to openbible.info, plug that phrase hardened hearts in. And yeah, I mean, it really was resonating with me. I took some time between then and now to just kind of I was debating about whether I was going to go back to sleep and, all this other stuff, but ultimately I ended up staying up. Um, and then I also was debating because I was thinking about running an errand and whatnot. But I would have needed to go earlier if I was going to do that. So yeah. So ultimately, by the time I decided to go ahead and just focus and stuff like that, I went back to this conversation about hardened hearts and started to write down the verses that were standing out to me. So here we go. Ephesians 4:18. It says, "They are darkened in their understanding, alienated from the life of God because of the ignorance that is in them, due to their hardened hearts, hardens of heart, or hardness of heart." I think that's what it's saying. So this is the reason why, right? Again, it's hard to receive the things of God and things of that nature because our hearts are hard. And there's another verse that as I was writing, I just felt like it really was showing like how much effect a hardened heart will have on, different aspects of our life. But I'll try to wait and get to that when I get to it. But yeah, I mean, just starting off strong with that verse is letting us know that this is the reason why our understanding is alienated from the life of God. It's because our hearts are hard to Him, again, in His way and His word. So let's go ahead and give you guys some more verses. Proverbs 28:12 and 14. It says, "Whoever conceals his transgressions will not prosper, but he who confesses and forsakes them will obtain mercy. Blessed is the one who fears the Lord always, but whoever hardens his heart will fall into calamity." I know that first, part of that verse may have felt like, man, what are you talking about? You're supposed to be talking about hardened hearts and you're talking about all these other things. But I mean, yeah, it's just letting us know, I guess, behind the scenes of what is happening. So if you conceal your transgressions, you're not going to prosper. Unless you forsake, those things and whatnot. It says that's how you're going to obtain mercy. But ultimately, again, obviously, what stood out to me most about Hardened Hearts here is that uh, the consequences of what will happen if you do harden your heart, and it's pretty much saying to us that you're going to fall into calamity if you harden your heart against the Lord. So it's blessed if you are someone that fears God and things of that nature. I mean, why do we do this, right? Why do we harden our hearts against the Lord? I mean, I think maybe one reason we might do this is that we probably feel like it's easier to, again, go through life and pretend like there's no God, there's no rules, there's no this and that. Like that's probably an easier way to live, I guess, in our minds, right? Because then there's no consequences to if I do this or do that, right? There's no consequences to the quote unquote sin that people sometimes don't even acknowledge that we do. So I get it, as a human, yeah, I guess it would be easier for me to go through life and pretend like, oh, there's no God, there's no this, there's no that, and just try to go through life and just do my thing. But I guess when you're called, or I guess when you know better, or whatever the case may be, that's still not easy to do. Like, again, I can sit here and tell y'all all day long about different, choices that I tried to make back in the day, or different, things that I would do, and it just would be hard because you're feeling convicted, deep within what the truth is, and then it's I guess I could not go through life to pretend like there's no God. Now, hey, some people are able to do that, but yours truly, me, Miracle Sims, was not able to do that. But let's keep going, y'all. So Jeremiah 17:9. It says, "The heart is deceitful above all things and desperately sick. Who can understand?" We don't like to think this about our own hearts, right? We like to think that, oh, what I feel and all this stuff is right, or what I feel is good, or whatever the case may be. But the word is telling us the opposite. It's telling us that what we feel, in our hearts and whatever is deceitful, and it's sick and things of that nature. Now sometimes I guess we don't feel like that. Our thoughts and our feelings and stuff is so bad, maybe because like if we're not saying just thriving, but if we're like, if things are going good, then this kind of is like, oh well, there's nothing too wrong with how I feel, there's nothing too wrong with what I feel in my heart, X, Y, and Z. But then when that stuff start transitioning into, I guess, taking you down a dark space or place, right, then you start to see like how deceitful our heart can be, and how sick even that our heart can be. There's a lot of people that, again, they feel in their heart they're right, they feel in their heart that what they want and whatnot is good, until that thing how can I say it, affects someone else, right? Then you start to see that, okay, like for example, I hate to go here with it, but I mean, I guess this is the best way to like like see this, right? So for example, serial killers or people like that, they might think in their heart, oh, what I'm doing is good. Like Hitler probably really thought in his heart of hearts that killing all those Jews and XYZ was the best thing to do. I'm doing good for the world and things of that nature. But ultimately, those of us on the outside can see how sick and deceitful that thought is, right? To sit here and take all those millions of lives, right? I mean, we talking about big murder and big mass killing. So let's go to just the small stuff, right? Let's just say, oh, it's not so bad to tell a white lie, or whatever the case may be, until that white lie causes whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like it could cause someone to stumble, it could cause someone else to I don't know, y'all. I'm just trying to show you guys on both ends of the spectrum what this could look like what a deceitful, sick heart could look like. Like, yeah, and so this is why I guess we're not supposed to be leaning to our own understanding, right? This is why we're supposed to be, led by God and things of this nature, because we could lead ourselves down a dark path and not even know it, right? Thinking we right, thinking we good, all this different type of stuff. and then the Lord shows you who's in control at the end of the day, and then it can be rough. So anyway, that's just something to think about. Let me give you guys another verse. And I think this is the verse that I was getting ready to tell you guys about earlier. It's Matthew 13 and 15. It says, "For this people's hearts has grown dull, and with their eyes they can barely with their ears. There we go. With their ears they can barely hear, and their eyes they have closed, yet lest they should see with their eyes and hear with their ears and understand with their hearts and turn, I would heal them." So this verse, as I was writing it down this morning, it just really was standing out to me to show, like, again, how much a deceitful heart can affect just about everything about you, right? So it starts with the heart, right? So with our deceitful hearts, with our hardened hearts, it's going to affect how we hear and what we hear, right? It affects what we see. And then, I mean, that ultimately, again, that those two things affect a lot. If you really think about it, like, again, if you're seeing the world through the lenses of your own deceitful, hardened, sick heart, then you probably won't be able to, again, acknowledge and see the blessings of God, and see how God is moving in this world and things of that nature, and the beautiful things and beautiful people and things of that nature. Now, again, same if you are, allowing your deceitful, hardened, sick heart to lead the things you hear. It's going to guide you towards those other things that, I guess, like they say, the itching ear things. And you're gravitating to those things, and you're living according to those things that you're hearing and things of that nature. So I mean, obviously this has a huge effect, man. The hardened heart has a huge effect on you and your life. And so I hope and pray that you're encouraged and inspired to soften your heart to the word and will of God. At the end of the day, again, he's the one that knows all. He's the one that created all and things of that nature. And so as I often say, it would only behoove us to get into alignment, right? It would only behoove us to, again, trust the one that does know all versus, trusting our own hearts and minds with our limited understanding. But yeah, man, that's ultimately the juice this morning. Just a little conversation about hardened hearts. You guys can go deeper. There's a few verses in the go deeper section to peruse and let marinate on your heart, souls, and minds. But the Bible verse of today is John 8 and 12. It says, "Then spake Jesus again unto them, saying, I am thine light of the world," or the light of the world. "He that followeth me shall not walk in darkness, but shall have the light of life." Friends, I hope you all enjoyed this juice this morning. Thank you so much for listening to God, Sex, and Love, your daily dose of inspiration and juice. I pray you guys can go forth and have a wonderful day. And I look forward to talking to you all tomorrow, if the Lord's will. Bye-bye. And there you go. Facebook, YouTube, Rumble. Anybody listening to the sound of my voice, I hope that you all are encouraged and inspired. Thank you so much for listening, watching, subscribing, and sharing all those wonderful things. Yeah, man. As for today, like I said, I didn't go run the errand that I was thinking about doing. So I know I'm supposed to record a future episode of the GSL Talk Show. And then I also have therapy today. But those are the only two things that are on my schedule. So outside of that, I guess your girl's going to be trying to chill. It's kind of like a quote unquote weekend day. But we're going to see. And yeah, man, that is what is on the schedule for me today. Praying for my hubby. He out there hustling in the streets. So praying all is well with that. And my kid is still kind of knocked out right now. So I'm going to go wild, still quiet, and have a little bit more woosah time. But y'all have a wonderful Tuesday. And I look forward to talking to y'all tomorrow, if the Lord's will. Bye.